We are here at the third quarter final. Chris Day against Eddie Barker. It's Eddie Batman Barker breaking off.
Yeah, good afternoon, Tony. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, and should be a well-balanced game. Eddie, another deep run. He's had a couple now. Chris Day's playing very well. Beat Chris Melling yesterday. He was.
He's my tip to win it.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you a story about that in a second. He was down and buried in his prelim match. He should have been put away by Dylan Leary. Sean Story was telling me yesterday that Dylan missed a 100 out of 100 finish. One that he described it as you'd put your mortgage on it. And he said to me last night, is his name on the trophy? Because after coming through that, you do wonder.
Well, it's not just that, it's the performance you're putting against Chris Melling for me, and then on top of that to win 7-6 against Ian Alley straight after.
Well, I was about to say he was 4-1 down against Ian as well, so a massive comeback. I mean, he's going to be flying. And, you know, with no disrespect to Eddie, Chris will like this draw. Eddie will equally like the draw. You know, they're not, you know, with respect to both of these players, they're not up against Tom Cousins. You know, they'll be eyeing each other and thinking they've got a really good chance here. They'll both like this. Eddie with the first chance at the table. Eddie just told me he was feeling cold. I said, oh, cold in here.
There's a bit of a draft blown through from the front door that they've not been able to shut for about 16 years. And it's sort of, it's a bit breezy.
So we had a little cuddle just to warm him up.
Really?
Yeah. Lovely fellow is Eddie.
Because he cuddled you.
Oh, I've got no problem with that, mate. I'm in touch with the cuddling side. There's nothing wrong with that.
Depends what you.
Bit of a man hug. Lovely fella, Eddie. I was over in the one time I've ever been to Benidorm. Went there 2 years ago, and Eddie Barker was there at exactly the same time on his stag do. Went out and ran into them in the, what's it called, the Silver Bullet or whatever it is, the pub over there.
Talking about Silver Eddie. Bullets, you want one after missing that.
Yeah.
Yes, you didn't know he was out there. It was by chance, was it? You ran into him.
Yeah, well, pretty much. I mean, there was an event literally the week before, and you know, me and Eddie were just chatting as we do, and I said, I'm going out to Benidorm next week. He said, so am I. And it turned out that we were staying in hotels pretty much next to each other. Yeah. And I said, well, give me a message on Saturday when you're on your do, and I'll come out and have a drink with you.
I bet he was gutted to have you when he stag do. Giving him all the stats of pool.
I got some.
That brought the week down.
I got some pictures of Eddie in a pink cowboy hat, and that
was nothing to do with the stag do.
Yeah, that's just a normal Saturday night out.
That was last night. Well, this is what Chris Day did so well against Chris Melling when I was on the comms. It was to take out these finicky finishes. He mopped up everything that Chris left him. Chris didn't play badly. A couple of dry breaks, and he had an in-off, a break. Every time Chris Day punished him. Well, just refusing that one, which you can see why, because obviously that yellow's a bit tricky down at the bottom of the table. So, cautious start from Chris. Well, that's not a bad result for Eddie Barker. So for that, planting Chris Day's yellow firmly on that bottom rail. We'll see if he can see it. Try and get over to the one over the bag. Must be tight because he's having to bend down and have a good old gander at it. Well, not an easy shot.
That yellow may have just come across that red, but he's still, I think he's still on the one. to the left-hand side. I don't know if he can get past it or not. Just got a little bit awkward. Could have been easier for Eddie.
Maybe a little quarter-final nerves creeping in from these two.
Yeah, this is a tough one to take on, isn't it? Yeah, it wasn't there. Little safety.
Well, it's blocked the yellow ball into the other corner now, so
Battle of the shiny pates, this one, isn't it? They, you know, who's got the shiniest top of the head?
yeah.
It's between those two and me.
Playing lots of turnips, trying to hit that one. That's a great shot there from Chris Day. To punch it into the rail, play that little plant to get the cue ball up the table. Only shot he could play, and he played it to perfection. Now then, the first clear-cut opportunity for Chris.
Becomes a fairly significant frame, this as well, because there's just coming up to 7 minutes off the clock already, and you know, it's obviously early in the match, but if Chris finishes his clearance, this is one against the serve.
This is the thing, another part of Chris's game in the last couple of days, his break has been phenomenal.
Just between, not quite far enough for the top corner and just a bit over for the middle, so he's going to have to navigate to the top cushion and out. Very nice pace. Judged it well. And it's going to be the first frame in 7.5 minutes to Chris Day. Joe Prince 3-0 against Jordan Bradley. Ronan Fay has won the first frame against Jamie Clements, and Sean Ash is 4-0 up against Aaron Moyles. I'll have a quick look across at the Ladies Pro and give you an update on those momentarily, just as we look at the break from Chris. Looks okay. The red to the left-hand side, just below the bulk line, causes a bit of an issue for reds, so may choose to go yellows, and it's going to be a plant to open the account. I think that was a deciding factor, really, that one red, because all the other reds are pretty good. Yellows are a decent layout. It's that one lone ball on the right hand side, you could see that as causing a problem. It's not the problem getting on it, it's the problem getting from it onto your next ball. He can just top through now to get on it. It needs to leave the right angle though. That looks perfect. Yeah, if he'd have gone further, it would have been a bit more tricky. But coming here, he can just screw down this right-hand side of the table and probably give himself options. Wants to be pretty much where the cue ball is now. Well, just below, actually. A couple inches below that. Oh, just there. It's just a slightly bigger angle than he wanted, which meant that you just need to play past the yellow and leave it to middle. It makes getting on the 8 a bit more of a challenge. If the 8 passes to top left, he's absolutely fine. If it doesn't, he's going to have to zip this through. Yeah, he did indeed.
Uh-oh.
That is a problem. So as I say, if that 8 ball passes the red to top left, he can just top that through a foot and he's on it. But it clearly didn't go, so he had to come across table, and that was always fraught with danger. And he's full ball snookered. Eddie will gratefully receive. He can make amends for that mistake in the first frame. As promised, we'll quick look across at the ladies pro. So Sharon James leading Sophie Gibbs-Nichols 4-3. Sophie having had that great win against Amy Beauchamp in her opening match. Emma Cunningham 7-3 against Nikki Comrie. Megan Proctor on the hill, making another deep run, 6-4 against Leanne Cragg. Danielle Randall through against Emma Parker. Lyndall Vine through against Babs Taylor. Lyndall Vine, one of the Aussie players across from the other side of the planet, playing in the ladies event upcoming. Christine Davis through against Marion Jude, another great win for her. Jeanette Baptist through against Becky Watkins, and Anna-Louise Arkle and Mary Talbot tied up 4 frames each.
Lyndall Vine, you mentioned there, of course, the wife of Stacey Vine.
Stacey Vine, yeah.
Who used to play for England back in the early 90s.
Yep. Yeah. Still wields the cue nowadays, I think, doesn't he, now and again?
I believe so, yeah. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I haven't seen Stacey for years.
Don't know if he's across with his partner. Maybe made the trip, playing in the seniors, perhaps. Not sure.
We should pop and say hello at some point.
Yeah.
Oh. I think you can still get through to the 2 reds at the bottom.
Yeah. May just have to go cushion first, but should be okay. Nice to see Lee Clough yesterday as well. And, seen Lee in a long time since he kind of dropped off from playing pool. He was here last night with his partner Nat Madden. Nice to see that couple.
Yeah, I was in their club on Wednesday. Went and played. I played darts for his team.
Oh yeah.
Well, I can't play pool anymore, so I might as well pick a different sport. Luckily, he hasn't got a tennis team. I don't think I could get around and do that. I won 3-0.
Very good.
Yeah, tell you. PDC will be looking to pick me up soon.
Is there any pub sports you're not good at, Tony? I bet you're good at Skittles as well, aren't you?
I won't say I'm good at Skittles. I've been skittled over a few times.
There'll be a lot of people in the country who don't have a clue what we're talking about, because Skittles, of course, is a very West Country game.
It is indeed. Mostly Somerset, which is where you're from.
And Dorset, yeah. Similar to...
a few in Cornwall, Brian. But
yeah, similar to 10-pin bowling in a way, but they have an alley at the back of a pub, 9 pins, 3 balls, and basically lots of drinking. It's just an excuse to go to the pub on a Friday night, basically.
Fair play.
Double for Eddie Barker. A tough leave. No. Will it go safe?
Well, is the answer to that as well.
He tried his best to get the cue ball to the top of the table.
It's been a funny old start, Nick, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, is it a nervy one? Is it because Tom Cousins is out, Mellon is out, and they're all looking at, hang on a minute, I can win this event? And
well, the clear favourite with the bookmaker has also just been dumped out as well in Jordan Shepherd.
Yeah, I didn't see. For me, I didn't make him a clear favourite. I mean, he was the favourite.
Yeah.
As in the previous tournament, but so has Christoph won events. I like Christoph as a player. He's and he played very well as well.
Yeah. Well, Christoph was breaking exceptionally well in the last match. That's a solid contact, if I ever heard one. And a pretty decent result. Really trying out this side break into front ball. It seems to have emerged over the last 6 months or so. You never really used to see players play that much. Quite a lot of players try it now as a second go-to break. It's kind of the go-between, the in-between the front ball, you know, from the middle to the cut break, taking it wide. Yeah, I can tell you, I just looked at the bookmakers with 6 players left, and 6 potential winners. Declan Brennan is a 6-4 favourite. Second favourite is Christophe Lambert at 9-2.
So those are the 2 semi-finalists.
That's a pretty short price.
What price is Chris Day?
Chris Day's 5-1.
There you go.
In fact, there's 4 players at 5-1, which are
the other 4.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a swizz. Might have had a pound on Chris if he was, 8-1. Bit of value.
I think you'll get 8-1. He's good.
Yeah.
And if it's in running, he's 2-0 up here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's still got Eddie Barker to get past. Eddie just needs to eliminate the couple of mistakes that he's made so far. Just a couple of simple errors, and well, there's another one. I mean, it was a little bit tough because he had to cut it, and he was trying to hold the cue ball at the same time, just trying to judge the cannon, just taking his eye off the pot slightly. But that now is, well, Eddie's had his hand on the table 3 times, and he's made 3 mistakes, and the chances are he's probably going to go 3-0 down now. When realistically, if he takes all those 3 chances, it could be a reverse of that scoreline. Take nothing away from Chris Day. He's gobbled up every chance he's had so far.
Well, he's played that one well. Nice little shot. He's left his red into the centre, and he's just going to nudge these 2 reds apart that are stuck together. And that'll do him. Straight screw back. Nope. Ping it off the rail with some side. It's nice when the ball's like this, you can pick and choose which way you want to go.
Yeah, pretty much take them in any order.
Nothing has to be completely precise. Just drop-ins now.
Yeah, it makes the game a lot easier when you can play to areas rather than have to land on a sixpence.
And he goes to black. Faultless so far from Chris Day. He takes a nice 3-0 lead against Eddie Barker.
Snitch. I needed a sugar fix. That's what it was.
Look at that for a split.
Breaking very nicely.
Gumballs. Is that what you're eating? Wow.
Moam pinballs.
Are they?
Pinballs, yeah. Just pure sugar.
See how many sweets you can get through now before Chris takes out these reds.
I'd need a second bag for that.
Really? Well, we're moving into real danger mode for Eddie Barker should Chris get this frame. You know, obviously 3-0's a handy lead, but when you start to get to 4s and 5s and that, you're really looking for miracles. For me, I think Chris has just knocked this red in down here and then play the red that's next to the yellow next. Bring the cue ball round for those 3 reds that are all in the little line. And that's what he's going to do. Plays this with a nice little bit of right hand side, come off the 2 rails. Black, we know, will go into the bottom left hand corner. In fact, it probably sneaks into the right as well, but I think he'll probably play for the left if he gets that far. We'll see through his finish. So it's a bit more available. That looks pretty good. Take the little nudge. Suggest the middle one of the 3 reds now. Screw the cue ball back a little bit and nudge into the red above it. Try and leave it into the top corner. Right. Elected there to go up the table. I'm not so sure about that. I think just a little nudge into the other red would have left it pretty easy with cue ball not travelling anywhere. The danger of this is, if you get too thin on this shot, you're then chasing the finish.
Yeah, should be okay, but the 2 yellows would be in the natural path of the cue ball, so
well, you got the choice. You could go into the top corner, screw back down, have the black in the middle, but yeah, you've got to, like you say, Nick, he's got to come out there.
And they are in the path. Well,
poor.
It was. He's got away with it a bit. That could have landed a lot worse. If that cue ball kicks off to the left, then he has no shot whatsoever. He's got a half ball pot here, so.
This is all because he didn't play, when he played that red at the middle of the 3, he just plays a little stun, kicks into it, or just screws out, and he's never in this position.
Yeah. You still fancy him to get this, but as I say, it could have been a lot worse.
It's one of them, it bit eating your mind that he probably thinks he's gone the wrong way now, and it could. Well, okay then. Not bothered. I was going to say, when you leave yourself in those sort of positions after having a pretty straightforward finish, you can start thinking, why am I here? I shouldn't be playing this shot. I should be having a nice straight easy black, and you link for the table cut, but
yeah, you can start questioning yourself for sure.
Well,
wow.
How many have we got?
What on earth?
We've got 4 reds and 2 yellows. That's the biggest break this week. I'm not
The balls are literally lining up to go in that bottom right pocket, one after another. That was amazing. Literally
two in the middle.
It was like watching a train go through a tunnel. 4 balls popping into the pocket one after another.
Well, imagine all those balls that went down. They were waiting at the only 2 pockets they went in. Yeah. That bottom right-hand corner and the right-hand middle.
He's looking to see whether he's on this one to I mean, this happens.
Pot too many.
It happens so often though that you pot so many balls that your options are limited.
Oof.
Yeah,
It's just not easy.
A bit smelly.
He's having to make some shots here, Eddie Barker, but he's done it pretty well. It would be a disappointment if he didn't go on to finish the frame after such a huge break.
Deserved this after the break.
Well, it's quite amazing that you break and clear up and there's only going to be 3 balls left on the table. There's only been Eddie there, so he's potted 12 balls. And there we are. First frame for Eddie Barker, a 12-ball clearance.
I wonder what the record is. That must be near there. That must be near a record. Chris not phased.
No, he's trying to outdo him.
Yeah, he is. Not phased in the slightest. That's
3 yellows though for
a huge break.
For CD.
Red balls.
I'm going to pop the red now over the left-hand corner, and I think he'll try and leave himself on the other red that's in the middle, near the top rail. Try and play it off the yellow and red. Cannon the other one out. Perfect.
Got to say, I've seen Chris Day play quite a bit over the years, and this is as good as I've seen him. It really does look to be at one with the table. He's focused and just going about his work.
He's gliding at the moment.
Yeah, looks great. I mean, his cue ball is it's been on a string. Never seems to run out of position. He's never been in trouble. He's not had any unwanted flicks or kisses, or he's just in complete command at the moment.
Yeah.
Bossing the table.
Yep, I absolutely agree.
It's going to be a hard opponent to beat for anybody if he keeps playing like this.
Well, at least so far it doesn't look like I've given him the kiss of death by tipping him.
No. I mean, normally when I start bigging up a player, they miss one of these to middle.
Yeah. The curse of the commentator.
Done that a few too many times over the years.
Nothing fancy with this, just drop this in. Cue ball back off the rail. Gives himself a little angle to come down for the other red in the centre.
Yeah, he really let his arm go there. I mean, he could have just glided the cue ball out to mid-table with half that pace, but to let his cue arm go and sends the cue ball pretty much twice across the table. I think that shot in itself, I mean, it's a simple enough shot, but I think that gives you an insight into how his mind's working at the moment and the confidence that he's playing with.
Yeah, just screwing over towards that red there. Didn't want to roll it in, it'd be too far away. He'd have had a funny angle. Screw down now for the black in the middle. Just nice slow roll this in. And he'll be 2 away from a place in the semi-final. In it goes. And Chris Day strides back to his chair with another frame on the scoreboard. Nice split there for Barker. Not quite as emphatic as his last break, but then I don't think we'll see one of those for a while.
Nice little insight into Chris Day. A little message from Greg Batten saying that Chris's improvements come from a lot of practice with Tom Cousins, and obviously his break is huge at the moment. Those two factors seem to just turn his game around at the moment. He does look great.
I would think that though, practicing with Tom Cousins would do you any good, because all you'd be doing is racking the balls up for him.
Well,
joking.
Sean's story on an interview yesterday. I actually listened to it this morning. He was saying that he'd been practicing with Tom a lot, and he said he's stopped doing it now because he said it's an hour drive there and back, and he said that the last time they played for 4 hours, and he said I got my hand on the table 12 times in 4 hours, and he said I could do that in 20 minutes at home. So he said I started practicing on my own at home, because he said I can get more quality at home practicing on my own in an hour than I can 4 hours with Tom, and it's 6 hours out of the day by the time you've driven there and
Why
back.
not make
it's
Tom
a great
drive
fact.
to you?
Yeah, well, there you go.
He's earned that right. He's earned that right to play his practice at home.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's a great point.
I'd never drive miles and miles to practice. What's all that about? Local pub. Not doing it. Pull cloth covered in beer stains. Play for 10 minutes. That'll do.
This is good character from Eddie. He's 5-1 behind, and a lot of players would let their shoulders slump by now and maybe think it's a bit too much of a hill to climb, but Eddie fights on. It's this 8-ball. Yeah, finds
Cue ball.
He's okay. That's going to... Oh, is it?
Well.
I was...
Heart in mouth time, that one.
I was confident that it was going to hit the knuckle, and it did. And it still looked like it was going to go in. That break is a beast. That is a real weapon.
Yeah,
that is definitely working for him.
It's a fair old clunk.
Whoa. The two best breakers I've seen so far are Christophe Lambert and Chris Day, and at the moment they're on a collision course. If they win their next match, they're on a collision course to meet in the final. It'll be a battle of the breakers then.
There's plenty of work before we get to that, and that'll be,
of course,
of course, later tonight.
Yeah, that first match, I mean, Christophe's got Declan Brennan, so Declan will definitely have a say in that. He's playing supremely well at the moment. If Chris can complete this victory, then he'll play the winner of Jake McCartney and the daddy, Arf and Dad.
That's coming up right after this.
Yep.
He did just like to get the cue ball off the rail a bit further there, Chris. He's okay. Now then, you'll want to screw down the table and have the one over the bottom corner next.
Yeah.
Then gets on the one into the middle and uses that yellow ball just to hold the cue ball there for the black into the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, he's. I don't think he's not going to do anything silly here. Nothing heroic. He's going to play for the gap and leave that red long. A lot of players would think, well, you know, the cue ball's there. I can use the side cushion and get further down the table, but that creates a problem. He's kept it simple, just screwed down the middle of the table.
Well, I'm surprised.
Yeah, me too. I get it though, because I mean he's on it, so why not? I mean the 8-ball should always be able to land on this. He's got a choice of pockets, so I do get it. But I was with you.
Well, it was definitely easy to get on the 8.
Yeah. He had a natural ball. He had a natural ball to hold the.
I mean, he's not on that at all.
Yellow. Yeah. This could have been much easier.
Well, I'd already at the start of that finish. I'd already looked for the black. Yep. That's the first thing I looked at, and I thought that just makes complete sense.
That's your last ball, cannon into the yellow. Can't fail to be on the 8. I'm with you.
Who am I to second guess Chris Day? Then?
I think it was just one of those. I think that was originally his plan. But when he came down and landed perfectly on the one to middle, he thought, well, I might as well just take it now.
That cue ball nearly came off the table then.
Yes, it did.
Big split though.
Yeah, pretty good. Yellows look a dream, I think.
It took to air.
Yellows look a dream. You can hold for... Oh, you can take him in any way he wants, really. Well, just the wrong angle here. What another roll and a half, so he could just stun up table, but again being ultra critical because he can just come off 2. It just meant he needed to navigate the gap of those 3 reds, which made it a bit more tricky.
Did it well,
but yeah, the perfect weight. Look at this. Eddie playing with absolute freedom now. Just taking a second.
Yeah, I thought these had been gone by now.
Yeah.
This one over the top left. Leave the angle on the other one, just dribble the cue ball down, bang. Bit heavier than I'd hit it. I left a thinner cut just to use the cushion to drag the cue ball down.
Eddie Barker more than capable of winning the next 4 frames if he gets this 8 ball in, but he needs chances. It's a long road back, and Chris Day is playing supremely well. It would take a massive turnaround, Tony.
He needs 2 dry breaks, and Chris,
Yeah.
really, because Chris has been finishing off most of his.
Yeah.
I'll be Keithley.
Keithley, yeah.
I'm
never sure
you'll have a lot of Yorkshiremen having to go at you, especially Chris Mellin will as well, if you say that, 'cause
Really?
that's where he's from.
I was never sure how to pronounce it.
Keithley, lad.
Keithley. Well, it makes more sense when you say it with the accent. Yeah, anyway, it's Jake McCartney versus Arthur Dad next.
Well, I don't think it's going to be too far away, that match, by the looks of it. As Chris Day has this frame and the match at his mercy. We already know which his last red's going to be. No prizes for guessing that one.
Yeah,
so it's the
dot,
3
yeah.
balls up here.
Got to say though, another very, very nice run from Eddie Barker. Just coming up short of a semi-final, but he keeps having these deeper runs. He really is starting to make inroads this season, and he can take a lot of heart again from a very, very good performance. It's only a matter of time, I think, before Eddie gets himself into a final, and he just needs to take heart from that. Stay on the practice table, keep your arm in, take your chances when they come. But for now, it looks like Chris Day all the way. Just needs to navigate this last couple of reds. Just needs to get the pace right on this one, and that looks absolutely perfect. You can just plop this in, hold the cue ball where the red is, and the black is awaiting.
Well, it's been a sublime performance from Chris Day. This black for a place in the semi-final. In it goes. And Chris Day beats Eddie Barker 7 frames to 3, and he's been good value. The CD marches on.